Hey guys, what's up? So spring is in the air, that means coats have been moved to the attic, and aside from the occasional light jacket, there isn't a whole lot of cargo space on this body, so I usually try to slim down my EDC a little bit as well, swapping out some of the bulkier stuff like this wallet for something more pocketable. Plus, I've got some very exciting additions to my EDC this time that I really want to share with you guys, so let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants some.
Alright guys, so let's jump right in and start with the holy trinity of any EDC, and that is of course phone, keys, wallet. In terms of my phone, I'm gonna be a bit predictable. If you're a regular to the channel, you already know that I review a lot of Apple products, and so that means I will typically carry at least an iPhone, usually in conjunction with an Android phone of some sort, because that is just a tech reviewer life. I need access to both systems when I'm reviewing stuff. So my main workhorse is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I do swap out cases from time to time to keep things a little bit interesting. Currently, I'm rocking this dark brown case by Nomad. It's a leather case, and I love Nomad stuff. They make super solid cases. This one is a bit of a mix. It's got rubber on the sides, and it's got this dark brown leather on the backside that is both grippy, and I just also like the way it looks, especially as it ages a little bit and it gets this nice patina. It's also got a raised camera bump as well. I don't know if you can see that, which not only protects the camera, which is great because I do drop this thing, but it also completely gets rid of the annoying table wobble. In terms of my Android phones, those do change a lot throughout the year, depending of course on what I happen to be reviewing, but the Android I keep coming back to in between reviews is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. I absolutely love this thing. It is such a nice phone to watch content on when it's folded open, and they still manage to keep it really thin so you can totally get away using this as a regular slab phone most of the day and then just whip out the big screen whenever it makes sense. Now, I think we've all heard the rumors by now of a foldable iPhone. I, for one, am very much looking forward to that, but Apple really do have their work cut out for them because the Fold 7 is pretty much a perfect foldable. It's gonna be very hard to beat. By the way, I don't walk around carrying two phones all the time, especially not this time of year since we do have less space to put stuff, but when I travel or when I have some kind of bag or a backpack on me, this one is coming with me. Speaking of bulking down, I do swap out my bifold wallet for a slimmer card style wallet like this one. I absolutely love both of these. The bifold is convenient when you're wearing a coat or a jacket since it's got some space for, some banknotes or maybe a receipt or two. But yeah, it does make things bulkier, and that is where this little guy comes in. Super slim, low profile card holder, holds about 6 cards, 4 on the outside and about 2 on the inside in that middle slit here, and you can get away with hiding a receipt or two in there as well. I think I may actually have one in there. Let me see. Yes, I do. But you don't want to be stuffing too many of them in there because of course it's going to make it bulkier, and it kind of defeats the purpose of having a slim wallet in the first place, right? These are both from a brand called Goyard. It's a bit on the pricier side, but you can get really nice ones that pretty much do the exact same thing for a lot less money. I will link some good alternatives in the description below the video, for various different budgets. Now, moving on to part 3 of the holy trinity of phone, wallets, and keys, and this has got to be the biggest upgrade of my EDC like ever. I told you guys at the start of this video that I have some really exciting additions to share with you, and I could not be more excited about this one. At the ripe age of 44, I was finally able to buy my dream car. In November of last year, I walked into my local Porsche dealership and we spec'd the ideal car for me from the ground up. I was able to pick and choose every single option to basically configure the perfect car for me. I had to wait 6 long months, first to be allocated a slot and then for it to be actually built, and then I had to hand it over for another week after having just picked it up to get some paint protection film on it, but it was absolutely worth it. This beautiful 2026 Porsche Taycan is the perfect combination of German car engineering and technology. It literally is a techie's dream car, full of the latest technology, fully electric, but still delivering that signature Porsche driving experience. I don't know what voodoo magic they did at Porsche to pull that off, to not have it feel like your average electric car, but actually drive like a Porsche, but they really, really did. And I still can't believe this is my car now. I gotta pinch myself every time I get behind the wheel. I will be doing a separate video on this car very, very soon, whether you're into cars or just into tech. I promise you it will be worth the watch. So if you're not subscribed already, a sub to the channel would be great. I'd love to see you back here to share more of all that good stuff with you. Now, next up is my watch, obviously another staple in most people's EDC. Now, I do rotate my watches quite a bit. I did get bit by the watch bug a couple of years ago, but I decided to wear my Speedy today, the Omega Speedmaster is the full name. I don't know, I just thought it would be the appropriate timepiece to go with that Porsche story, since this was originally designed to be a racing watch. I know most people will know it as the first watch on the moon, or the moon watch if you will, but that's because Omega at the time won NASA's bid for a watch that could be subjected to extreme conditions, and you know, the rest is history. But yeah, this is originally a racing watch. It's got that tachymeter here on the bezel that would allow race car drivers to easily measure, you know, land speed and track lap times and stuff like that. I love this watch mainly because you can wear it for pretty much any occasion, because it looks kind of sporty, but also dressy in a way. It's nice and flat, so it does fit under a shirt, but it's also super robust. I don't know, it's just one of those watches that just goes with anything. I love the way it looks, and it does mark a special occasion for me. I bought this when the channel hit 200,000 subscribers. It took a lot of work to get there. Blood, sweat, and tears, trust me, and this watch reminds me of that every time I see it on my wrist. Now, in case you're wondering, that fancy catch-all tray you've been seeing in the B-roll is made by a German company called Weich Couture. They incorporate alpaca wool in all of their products, and out of all the catch trays I've been using over the years, this is by far my favorite because I never have to worry about scratching my watch. Absolutely love this thing. I'm starting to get a little hot. I don't know about you guys. You getting hot? That's a lot better. Now guys, I know what you're thinking, a neck fan, really? And I get it, right? For the past few years, every spring we get bombarded with neck fan emails, and I was skeptical too. But when I was at CES earlier this year in Las Vegas, I saw that Torras made one, and honestly, that did pique my interest. I really love Torras for their iPhone cases and accessories, and if you've been to the channel before, you already know this. And so I figured if these guys are making one, I'm giving it a try. And I must admit, this thing is cool. This is the Torras Coolify, and thank you very much to Torras for sponsoring this video. It is basically a personal wearable little air conditioner, and if you're wondering why do you need that, well, try going on a road trip with a wife that is always cold when you're always hot. Fighting over the in-car temperature is not fun. This thing keeps me cool without being yelled at. You can actually adjust the airflow direction, and it fits all neck sizes, even my fat neck. And the crazy part is that these cooling plates right here, when you turn them on, it genuinely feels like somebody is pressing an ice cold can of soda against your neck, like instantly. They say you feel the cooling in around 3 seconds, and honestly, that's not even exaggerated. I've been using the Cyberfold version, their flagship model with the largest cooling coverage and strongest cooling performance as well. And not just for road trips, but also during outdoor shoots when I need to stay focused, or even while cleaning around the house. It has this foldable design, so it's really easy to throw it into your backpack, and it basically cools all around your neck, but also your face and even down your back. But if you want something lighter with even stronger battery life, they also have the 2S Pro. I'm telling you, this is one of those products that sounds a bit weird until you actually use it. If you want to check it out for yourself, there will be links in the description below the video. All right, next up is this little guy here. This is the AYN Thor, and it is my new favorite handheld gaming device. I did a video not too long ago about how gaming handhelds have made it possible for me personally to enjoy gaming again. It's a long story, and if you're into gaming, but you find yourself pressed for time, I would really encourage you to go check out that video. I think a lot of people related to it. Anyway, the big winner for me was the Steam Deck, and don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love my Steam Deck, but it is a bit of a chunkier boy, and it is definitely not part of what I would consider a light everyday carry. Now, because of that video, I went down a little bit of an emulation rabbit hole. At first, because I wanted to, relive some of those classic games from my childhood, but as I was exploring different models, including this one, I was actually blown away by how powerful these devices have gotten. This tiny little foldable that pretty much looks like a Nintendo 3DS can run full-blown PC games right from my Steam library. Now, of course, there are limits. Don't expect it to play Cyberpunk on the highest settings, but it can play an impressive number of games out of my Steam library at very decent settings, and because of the OLED screen on this thing, the games look absolutely stunning. Now, these things aren't plug and play. These emulators are basically very powerful Androids, and they do require some tinkering and some setup, but once you've got that dialed in, they're great fun, and I can highly recommend this one to anyone who enjoys playing those classic retro titles, including 3DS games, by the way, that do use both of the screens, while also enjoying some of the more recent titles, all in this neat little form factor that is definitely part of a light EDC. Now, the speakers on this thing are okay, but if you want an immersive experience, you're gonna wanna have some headphones on. I recently picked up the new AirPods Max 2, and while I do really love these, they're basically a facelift of the original AirPods Maxes, which were already pretty incredible. Everything just got slightly improved. They're still as heavy and as clunky as ever. So for this spring EDC, this is probably not what I'll be packing with me. Instead, I'm going back to my AirPods Pro 3s, easily my favorite pair of in-ear earbuds. Noise canceling on these things is fantastic, everybody knows that, but what really makes these stand out from anything else on the market, and I do mean anything, is transparency mode. AirPods are the only buds that can actually make you forget you're wearing them. Every other pair I tried, no matter how good the pass-through is, you're always aware that you're listening through microphones. There's always something giving it away, a little tell, a little humming, or just a little bit too loud. Not these AirPods. I don't know how Apple does it, but they're literally sounding like you're not wearing any, and that for me makes these a 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see how Apple is going to improve these when they come out with the next pair, probably somewhere in September. But for now, this is what I'm carrying around in my spring EDC. And that leaves us with the last item in today's EDC, and that is the brand new Osmo Pocket 4, the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, I should say. And if this thing looks a bit familiar to you, that is because it looks pretty much identical to its predecessor, the Osmo Pocket 3, with some very subtle differences. But this thing on the inside is a massive improvement. Now, I can hear you thinking the iPhone 17 Pro Max already shoots pretty good videos, and wasn't this supposed to be a light EDC setup? And you're absolutely right, and I do use my iPhone 90% of the time, but on days where I know I'll be shooting some footage on the go, but I don't want to bring my full-blown mirrorless setup, this is the perfect middle ground. You're basically carrying a micro camera on a gimbal with you, and you always have that super stable footage that looks a little bit better than iPhone footage, especially now that you can shoot in proper D-Log with these things. Not D-Log M, as was the case with the DJI Pocket 3. This thing is actually shooting D-Log like you get on the high-end drones. Don't worry about it, my fellow camera nerds out there already know what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really love watching EDC videos myself, so it's always a privilege whenever I get to share my EDC with you guys, especially this one today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.